much in love, but it came too soon. And it was me and you, and when we got real blue, stay at home talking on the telephone, and we would get so excited and we'd get so scared, laughing at ourselves, thinking life's not fair. And this is how it feels. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change from whatever, we will still be friends forever. So if we get the big jobs and we make the big money, when we look back now, will our jokes still be funny? Will we still remember everything we learned in school? Still be trying to break every single rule? Will little brainy Bobby be the stockbroker man? Can he ever find a job that won't interfere with the tan? I keep thinking that it's not goodbye. Keep on thinking it's our time to fly. And this is how it feels. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change from whatever, we will still be friends forever. Friends forever. Will we think about tomorrow like we
Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm Kelly Anderson. I'm the chair of the Department of Film and Media Studies. And on behalf of all our faculty and our staff, I'd like to welcome everyone to our celebration of the 2021 graduates. If you have access to the chat, please let us know where you're tuning in from, and feel free to send messages to the graduates. Only the speakers today will be able to turn on their video and microphones. So the rest of you should make use of the chat. And in about an hour, at the end of the program, we're going to allow the graduates only to turn on their cameras and mics, and we'll bring them onto the screen in groups so they can have the equivalent of a graduation picture, even though it might be a screen grab. So last year, we held our very first film and media virtual graduation. We were 6 weeks into the COVID pandemic, and we commended the graduates for stepping up and getting through half a semester of crisis to make it to graduation. Thinking back, this June feels so far from then. It's like the last miles of a marathon that none of us wanted to run and we didn't train for. Class of 2021, you have managed not only to navigate huge obstacles, online learning, isolation, loss of family and friends, disappearance of our public life together, and you've done it for a really, really long time. I congratulate you on your perseverance, your resilience, your ability to get out of bed in the morning and get your work done under conditions that sometimes were life and death, but I know often were just boring, depressing, lonely, exhausting. And you didn't just make it through, you excelled. Many of your teachers this year have commented on the outstanding papers and articles you wrote, the films and digital media projects you created even when you couldn't leave the house. In many cases, these weren't just good enough, they were amazing. We are proud of you and we're inspired by you. We want to thank your families, biological and chosen, who helped make today possible. We thank your partners, your children, your professors, your mentors, and everyone else who helped you get to this point. The Indian author Arundhati Roy reminds us that pandemics are portals into a new world. They're an opportunity to let go of the parts of the past that weren't working, the hatreds, the prejudice, the environmental destruction. She invites us to walk through the portal lightly, with little luggage, ready to imagine another world and ready to fight for it. Graduates, I hope your time at Hunter has prepared you in some way to meet this moment, and that you can step out lightly into a world that desperately needs your hands, your vision, your compassion, and your ideas. We believe in you, and we send you off with love and high hopes. Now I'd like to introduce Hunter College President Jennifer Rabb and take this opportunity to thank her for her leadership through this difficult time and for her generous support of our students and our programs. Please welcome President Rabb.
Good afternoon. I'm Jennifer Rabb, and I have the enormous privilege of serving as the president of Hunter College. Today, I have the great pleasure of bestowing degrees on the incredibly talented students of the Film and Media Studies Department. I am delighted to congratulate you on becoming proud graduates of Hunter College. Forget what they say out in Hollywood. This is bigger than getting an Oscar. Film and media graduates, you've earned this degree. You've done the hard work, you've made the sacrifices, often while working 1 or even 2 jobs and helping with family responsibilities. And on top of the normal challenges of earning a Hunter degree, you have overcome the difficulties of remote learning and all the other complications of living through a pandemic. What an achievement. We are enormously proud of you, and you have every right to be proud of what you have accomplished. Film and media graduates, you are going out now into a very changed world. The COVID restrictions are beginning to lift, which is great news, of course. But there are still enormous challenges ahead, and the world that is now emerging will be significantly different from the one we knew before. One of the challenges will be rebuilding the city and the nation, which have suffered so severely in the past 15 months. Hunter Film and Media graduates, you have the dedication, knowledge, and the skills that will be a crucial part of this rebuilding process. Some of you will become the journalists who keep the public informed, who report the news from the neighborhoods of our city to the halls of government. Some of you will make the riveting documentaries that record this history in unforgettable sounds and images. Some of you will be the creative spirits who turn everyday stories into compelling narratives that stream across the nations. All of us relied on the stories to get us through the pandemic that were told in film and streaming and television. A great foundation was built, and we know you will continue to build on this art form. We trust you to lead us forward. Wherever you go and whatever you do, whether it's telling stories in newspapers and magazines, creating films or documentaries, teaching or continuing your education, you will have a major advantage. That is because you have demonstrated the spirit, the determination, and the work habits it takes to get a world-class education from Hunter College. As you move forward, I ask you to always remember the Hunter motto, Mihi Cura Futuri, the care of the future is mine. You will be caring for the future whenever you put your Hunter education to work in helping to rebuild our community. There is no better way of repaying your alma mater than living up to that high standard. Film and media graduates, you didn't get to this milestone in your life all alone. First, you have received the help, the guidance, the mentoring, the inspiration of your department's caring and dedicated faculty. I want to give special thanks to the Film and Media Department's faculty, and I ask you all to give these great professors a Zoom round of applause. I also want to express my special appreciation to the department's wonderful leader, Kelly Anderson, whose talents, accomplishments, and inspiring leadership have meant so much to our students, particularly in this challenging year. Let's give Kelly a Zoom's thumbs up to say thank you to her. And graduates, you could never have reached this high point without the love and support of your family and friends. We thank them for all they've done to get you to this important moment in your life. Please make sure they know how grateful you are. And so again, my warmest congratulations to each and every one of our film and media graduates. My best wishes and those of everyone at Hunter College go with you as you step forward into the next adventure of your life. We are so very proud of you. Congratulations to the Hunter College class of 2021 film and media graduates.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jennifer. And now I'm going to introduce our keynote speaker. Our keynote speaker is someone I've known for a very long time. I was trying to remember when we first met. Was it 30 years ago on a picket line for striking restaurant workers in Chinatown, or at an action in the early 90s to demand community media channels in New York City? The reality is that whenever people are standing up and raising their voices against injustice in the city, Betty Yu will most likely be there. She is a multimedia artist, photographer, and filmmaker whose practice integrates documentary film, new media platforms, and community-infused approaches. She's a co-founder of the Chinatown Art Brigade, a cultural collective that uses art to advance anti-gentrification organizing. She was recently featured in the New York Times in an article about Asian American artists speaking out about the recent wave of hate crimes against Asian Americans. Betty has many, many accolades, including a 2016 Soapbox Artist Award from the Laundromat Project. And she's a graduate of our Integrated Media Arts MFA program, which makes us very proud. Please welcome our keynote speaker, Betty Yu.
Hi there. Thank you so much, Kelly, for that introduction. I was not prepared for that. Blushing a little bit. Thank you, Kelly, and everyone. Before I start, I want to first acknowledge that I am calling in, zooming in from the indigenous ancestral unceded lands of the Lenape-Hoking, the Lenape people, now known as New York City. And I think it's very important that we pay respect to Lenape people and, of course, Native people of the past, present, and future who are continuing their presence and struggles on their homeland. So I wanted to just open with that. But faculty, family, friends of the graduates, and above all, dear graduates, I really want to commend you and congratulate you. I consider it a great honor to be invited to speak to you all today at this very critical juncture in your lives and in the world. First off, again, congratulations. Today marks an important day in your lives. It is the beginning of so many exciting journeys to come. And I don't have to tell you, as others have just mentioned, Kelly and the president of Hunter, that the last 15 months have been extremely difficult. And I really want to take a moment, and all of us collectively, to really acknowledge the extremely tumultuous year that you've had. You've faced adversities and challenges. This year has really taught and reminded all of us that life isn't always how we planned it. Things don't always turn out the way we wanted, but we've struggled, we've cried together, we've been driven apart, but despite it all, you persevered, right? You overcame, you continued on your trajectory, and now you are graduating. So I don't know if you can unmute yourselves right this second, I think at the end, but please just give yourselves a huge round of applause, a pat on the back. It's a huge, huge effort, and I really want to applaud you all. But also, we have to acknowledge that the last 15 months, it hasn't only been dystopic for the obvious reasons, right, of the pandemic and the lives lost, but in many ways, it's forced us to think outside of the box, right, to find new ways to communicate, to tell stories, to create, even to learn, right, over Zoom and these other platforms, and to really perhaps imagine a different kind of society that we want to live in, one that is more just, that upholds racial, economic, and social justice issues that we care about. We know we're living in unprecedented times during two simultaneous pandemics, COVID-19 and white supremacy. This past summer's racial justice uprisings in the wake of the police murder of George Floyd sparked and unveiled injustices that so many communities of color have been facing for centuries. We are at a crossroads. It is not just a moment of reckoning, but it's a movement. And we are at this critical moment in human history. And that you all as graduates have to ask ourselves and look deep within ourselves as image makers, as artists, as human beings, and ask ourselves, what side of history do we want to be on? As filmmakers and documentarians and journalists, image makers, storytellers, we do have a great responsibility. People entrust us to represent their stories, communicate their issues and concerns, their hopes and dreams. We craft powerful narratives, capture poignant imagery, and move audiences to care about the people, the characters in our films. And in some cases, we actually inspire people to take action. So as you think about your time here at Hunter, the ways you all have encouraged and supported each other and leaned on each other, especially this past year, maybe even collaborated together, gave critical feedback, loving feedback. Don't lose that collective team spirit. I know it's been difficult this past year, but don't lose it. I know this past year you've again pushed yourself outside of the box, thinking outside of the box, probably experimented with new creative processes, new tools and modalities, new perspectives. We know you all miss each other, right? Sharing lunch, maybe sitting next to each other in classes, running into each other and teachers in the hallway, dreaming up your next big group video project, even stressing about those projects. But you know, that you all are kind of coming to an end of your journey here, and that will change soon. You'll be able to kind of be together physically. And I think that, you know, I can't forget my roots, right? I graduated from the MFA Integrated Media Arts program, and Kelly, who is my, I consider one of my mentors, was my advisor for my own senior thesis film. I have to say that I am so grateful for the program. You know, I now teach here part-time, and it really feels like a full circle. I'm so thankful for it. It gave me the time, space, and guidance and tools to figure out who I am as a storyteller. And I always knew I was a change maker, but I didn't know what kind of change maker I was, right? And so the time that I had through the program really helped me hone my skills. And it is really a great honor to be able to provide a portal into a world that audiences may not have access to, and to do it in the most respectful, human, and dignified way possible. Last fall, when I had a multimedia installation at Queens Museum, highlighting stories of people who are fighting gentrification, I highlighted two people in particular, one Korean American and the other one who was a Jamaican American immigrant, and their fight against gentrification in Flushing, Queens. I received really moving feedback from community members, a diverse section of a diverse group of community members who were really moved and inspired by the story. They didn't know that people were actually fighting the towers that were going up by the water at Flushing, the waterfront, and they wanted to get involved. And so when I heard this, it really meant the world to me. And to me, that is the measure of success for me, right? It's when it reaches the people that I want it to reach. So your measure of success may be different. Whatever it is, really strive toward that measure. Each of you, you all know you're very gifted and talented media makers. You've come this far. Your tools, the tools and platforms are powerful, and they can really be used as a force of good, a catalyst for change, to elevate, amplify, and inspire. And don't lose that fire in your belly or that passion in your gut. That commitment, that tenacity, that curiosity, your willingness to learn, to strive will be so important throughout your entire life. Your future, your careers, really nurture that. And to get to this point, you know, it's again, it's a huge achievement, and I really commend you. We all know again that we see change is upon us. It's accelerating. It's exciting at times, and I know it can feel really heavy, and the responsibility feels immense at times. But know that you all have a purpose like no other generation before you. Understand that there is a broader purpose for yourselves, our communities, our cities, our society. Understand that you are not acting in isolation or alone, but you're a part of a larger part of the larger society, part of this larger tidal wave of change. I wish you all the best. Embrace the changes, the challenges, get ahead of the change, find your purpose. You are the creators of our future. I want to close with a quote from the prolific author James Baldwin. It's a long quote, but bear with me for a second here. He says, art has to be a kind of confession. The effort, it seems to me, is if you can examine and face your life, you can discover the terms with which you are connected to other lives, and they can discover too the terms with which they are connected to other people. Most of us, no matter what we say, are walking in the dark, whistling in the dark. Nobody knows what is going to happen to him from one moment to the next, or how one will bear it. This is irreducible, and it's true for everybody. Now, it is true that the nature of society is to create among its citizens an illusion of safety, but it is also absolutely true that the safety is always necessarily an illusion. Artists are here to disturb the peace. The role of the artist is exactly the same as the role of a lover. If I love you, I have to make you conscious of the things you don't see. You can do it. I wish you all the best. Congratulations again. Thank you.
Thank you, Betty. That was beautiful. So next we're going to hear from some outstanding students who are graduating. We have 2 valedictorians this year, which means they're graduating from Hunter with a perfect 4.0 grade point average. The first one is a film major. Her name is Harriet Enright, and she's also graduating with departmental honors. Welcome, Harriet.
Hi. Before I begin, I just wanted to take a quick moment to say thank you so much for inviting me to speak, and to thank all of the professors who have helped me, especially Professor Demersion, Professor Margulies, Professor Mercado, and Professor Pavlovsky. I wouldn't be here without their support. When I came into college, I wasn't a film major. I'd gone through a lot of options, including fashion, public policy, language, even going to culinary school to become a baker, but somehow film never crossed my mind. I mean, I've always loved movies. I grew up immersed in them since my dad is a film professor. He may have traumatized me slightly by showing me Fellini's Satyricon at age 12, but it wasn't enough to turn me off the medium in general. Growing up in semi-rural New York, my friends and I would trample through the woods with a cheap camera and film anime music videos that bemused our parents. We filled a YouTube channel with perfect future blackmail material and had a great time doing it. However, when I got to college, I was afraid to choose film as a discipline. But then I had one experience that changed my mind. I was sitting in the back row of the Film 101 lecture hall in Hunter North in an 8 p.m. class on a rainy, miserable Wednesday. We were watching Casablanca, and it wasn't even the first time I'd ever seen it. I used to beg my dad to watch a movie that was in color when I was a kid. But we got to the scene where the whole bar breaks out in La Marseillaise, and I found myself tearing up. I was suddenly viscerally reminded of the immense power of cinema. I know a lot of you are probably familiar with the look that you get when you tell someone you're a liberal arts major. However, as I'm sure all of us are aware, there is no major that's a sure bet. In that one moment in the back of that classroom, I realized that I had to pursue film. I simply didn't think I could bring myself to do anything else. I was terrified to follow my passion, but there's no correct career path that guarantees success and happiness. We'll all reach points in our lives where paths branch off and we have to choose which way to go. Attending Hunter was one such path, and I'm glad I chose it. But we can already see that there will be many more life-changing decisions ahead. It's scary to decide to do what you love. I mean, what if you fail? But I want to try to face the future without fear, or at least without letting my fear show too vividly. So thank you to the film and media departments and to all of our wonderful friends and classmates who have made our educations here so valuable and worthwhile. To everyone who has helped us along the way, I have to say that I hope this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Thank you.
Thank you. That was great, Harriet. The next second valedictorian is a media studies major. She is Samaitha Hassan, and welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for letting me speak today. I really appreciate everyone who set up this virtual ceremony and graduation. Thank you to Professor Anderson, to all the professors here, President Rob, and a special shout out to Professor Pinedo, who I just saw in the chat. You were an amazing professor, and I was so lucky to be able to work with you. I really appreciate that. And finally, congratulations to all of my amazing peers who graduated this year. It's been an incredibly unforgettable and crazy year, and it's also been a very heartbreaking year for some. I personally lost my father to COVID very recently, and I love him very much. He inspired me every day, and he made me exactly who I am right now. And one thing he always said was that I can do everything. And I feel that way about all my peers here today. You definitely can do everything and you'll get there. Even if you feel a bit overwhelmed or lost in the moment, you'll be able to get to exactly where you want to be as an artist or a creator. And I can't wait to see all the inspirational and amazing things you all make. And finally, I would just like to say that my heart goes out to anybody else who lost a loved one during this time or any time, and to everybody who faced their own personal hardships, obstacles, or struggles. You made it, you're here, and you're absolutely incredible and strong. Thank you.
Hi. I was going to say that was a beautiful speech, and I loved seeing the hand on your shoulder, which was a reminder of all the people who are behind us, helping us get to where we
Yeah,
are.
my mom
That's
and my
beautiful.
sister were here. Thank you
That's
all.
wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, and our next speaker is Ariel Zrihan. She has departmental honors in film.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today. It's so exciting to address all of you. Graduates, professors, and proud family members. On this exciting occasion of our college graduation, a line resonates with me from the film The Graduate. I have just one word for you: plastics. All kidding aside, I am honestly surprised to be addressing you over Zoom. None of us could have predicted a graduation conducted from our bedrooms. The world of film and media looks different today than the way we first expected as freshmen. When I first arrived at Hunter, I thought filmmaking was an independent venture, that as a screenwriter, I'd spend hours locked in solitary working tirelessly on my own creations. In a world with artists who produce, direct, write, and star in their own work, I envisioned doing it all by myself. And with the direction of so many brilliant faculty members, each lesson further inflated my confidence with this independence. I learned how to analyze the work of great artists, how to write a feature-length screenplay, and how to direct a short film, until I also learned I am terrible at editing. But that never held me back because someone sitting next to me was always a whiz at whatever I was struggling with. And so we relied on each other to fill the gaps in our skill set and collaborate. And with each passing project, internship, and film set, I learned of more and more roles necessary behind the curtain. I ultimately realized there are so many aspects in making art that there are enough things to be good at and bad at to go around. And film and media are collaborative efforts in both creation and consumption. I think about all the times I went with school friends to the movies and how complete it felt to discuss it afterwards. I think about how many articles, memes, and clips we've sent around to friends and family in the past year to keep us all connected. Even at the height of the pandemic, when the assignment was to make a film alone in my bedroom, I still relied on my roommates to help me adjust lighting and framing. And contrary to what I thought, this industry is not a one-man show. Hunter has strengthened this understanding that film and television are all about community. Incredible and dedicated faculty like Professor Lund, Professor McElhaney, Professor Kaplan, Professor Zucker, and Professor Pavlovsky, and many more supported me and created classroom environments that enhance the sense of camaraderie. This graduating class is a community in itself, a network we will all have for the rest of our lives. And when we're looking for editors, writers, producers, and directors to fill the gaps in our art, we'll gravitate towards this group, toward the people we started it all with. Congratulations, everyone. I can't wait to work with you guys again.
Beautiful. And the next graduate is Sion Pollard. Sion has a double major in media studies, concentrating in journalism and political science. He's a prolific writer for the Hunter Envoy, the Hunter Athenian, and our own broadcast, Hunter News Now, as well as for Dateline CUNY. He recently won the Headliners in Education Award for his story on the pros and cons of class group chats. Sion, welcome.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon to all students, faculty, staff, and all others who are here to celebrate this occasion with us. This special moment in our lives, graduation. I want to thank everyone for being here, and I want to especially thank God and the Film and Media Department for giving me this opportunity to share a few words with you all. A special thank you to Professor McCarthy, Professor Perrin, Professor Morris, Professor Glenn, and all others who allowed me to be here today. As I think about this moment, I just want to say that despite all of our challenges, we've made it. Throughout college, we've dealt with financial aid issues, rushing to get to class on time, attending school in a global pandemic, but it's been a journey, and I'm proud to say that at the end of it all, we've made it. And we've enjoyed that journey with each other. We've had academic achievements, fun events, and the camaraderie within the film and media community to help us get through. If there's anything I've learned over the past few years, it's that perseverance is key. You must persevere, work hard, and be diligent until you achieve your heart's desire. As a journalism student, for me, that meant asking questions and following up until I got answers, fact-checking all the details, and doing everything in my power to make sure that the story was what it needed to be. But perseverance isn't just for academia. It goes a long way in every single part of our lives, whether it's extracurriculars, relationships, careers, whatever it is. Nothing in this life will work unless you put in the work. I also want to emphasize the importance of adaptability for us all. When the pandemic hit last year, many of us were taken aback, wondering how we would continue our undergraduate education, especially considering that the film and media department often requires us using technical equipment or doing in-person activities. It was hard, but I can say that we found a way. We've been accustomed to Zoom, social distancing. We've even found a way to assignments while at the same time making sure that our family and friends didn't get in the shot or didn't distract us as we worked. And with all these modifications, we finished off the school year strong. So when things don't go as planned, don't be so quick to just throw in the towel. Sometimes you just have to make the necessary adjustments so you can achieve the end goal. The last thing I want to leave with everyone here today is that you must believe in yourself. Just take a step back and think about what got you here in the first place. You took a big leap of faith applying to Hunter College, a big leap of faith going through college, believing that it would be worthwhile. And that's the reason why you are here today. Now take that same energy and apply it to everything else in your life. Whether it's advocating for racial justice or just applying for your next job, whatever it is, trust in everything that you've learned over the past few years and trust that you are ready for the challenge. That will be what truly makes a difference in your life. So to the class of 2021, let's persevere, let's adapt, and let's believe in ourselves. Go the distance, embrace change, and have faith in your abilities. As storytellers, producers, graphic experts, media critics, media historians, and more, I know that we all have the power to accomplish our goals and to create a positive impact on the world. Even if everything around us is going upside down, we have the power to shift it right side up. As we close this chapter, I wish you nothing but God-given success, and I know that we will all be able to face whatever lies ahead and that we will stay on the path to greatness. Thank you.
Thank you, Sian. That was beautiful. So now we're going to turn to a more somber part of our program. We're going to take some time to remember a student, Marlon Labovich, who passed away just 1 month ago. By all accounts, he was a brilliant and dynamic presence wherever he was. And I'm going to turn it over to Michael Gitlin, one of Marlon's professors, to say a bit more. I just also want to say that Marlon's mother, Hannah, is with us today, and some of his relatives are also on the Zoom. Michael.
Thanks, Kelly. Hannah, I'm really glad to see you and have the other Marlon's relatives as well here. Marlon, as a lot of you know, was in my Film 160 class, which is a large intro lecture with about 140 students. It's an understatement to say that Marlon stood out in the class. He was quite simply the heart of the class. Like a lot of us, I try to teach by asking questions, both to get a sense of what students already know and to give them a chance to find answers among themselves. I knew I could always count on Marlon to have an answer ready for technical questions, though he was also always careful to make sure there was space for others to answer as well. But maybe more important than having those technical answers, I knew that, or more interesting even, I knew that he would always have something interesting to say about the aesthetics or the semantics, the meaning or the feeling of film clips that I would show in class. You know, we would go over, obviously it was in Zoom, we would look at a 2 or 3 or a 5 or 7 minute clip, and we'd come back and I'd ask, you know, what do you think of that, or how did that strike you? And I knew that Marlon would have something to say that would be interesting and that would get a conversation started. I really looked forward to hearing his thoughts, and I heard from many students that they also really looked forward to his comments, that he was a thought-provoking presence in the class. On Wednesday morning, May 5th, I was working on my notes for that evening's lecture. Often the topics in the class are quite technical, and as such, they sometimes function as a kind of review for advanced students. That evening was a little different. I was going to be talking about personal filmmaking as a mode of production that functions as a kind of alternative to what's sometimes called industrial production. As I was preparing my lecture that morning, sitting at the computer, I was thinking in my head, who can help me start a conversation about this? This is a sort of subtle question. It's not like a technical question where there's a yes or no, a right or wrong answer. It's a kind of much more subtle kind of discussion to be having. And I was thinking in my head, like, who can help me get this conversation going? Who can keep the conversation going? And of course, I thought of Marlon. I knew he would be there on Zoom with his camera on and his hand raised. A little later that same day, I received an email from another student in the class letting me know about Marlon's passing. I was shocked and saddened then, and I'm shocked and saddened now. I so looked forward to having Marlon in future classes with me. I know that's true. I spoke with his Italian professor. I spoke with Professor Tammy Gold and Isabel Pinedo, two other faculty members. And I know that was true for all of us. We were like, really looking forward to having Marlon in future classes and in continuing to learn with him. Remembering Marlon makes me want to keep that conversation going and keep that learning going. For those of you that don't know, and Hannah, maybe you don't know this, other members of his family, 160, the class that he was in with me, has a large lecture, and it also has smaller labs. So students are in the large lecture, they're also in the smaller labs. And the lab is really where faculty interact really directly with the students, and where the students can really interact with each other in a way that it's not quite possible in this 140-seat lecture. And I heard from his lab instructor, Indranil Chowdhury, and from the students in his lab, the way that Marlon so deeply supported his classmates that during class crits of student work, he was always there with comments and with support. And so I'd like to introduce and turn it over to one of his classmates in his lab, Noga Harel. So Noga, I'll give it over to you.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Sorry if I will mumble a little. I am a little emotional. I was asked to speak today about Marlon. Saying his name and thinking about him still gives me the chills. Marlon was a passionate and intelligent student. Being in class with him this semester was so much inspiring. His love for all films was substantial. He would always offer me and my classmates help with our films and projects. For those of you who may not have had the chance to know Marlon, I am sorry, because you did not get the chance to know a truly wonderful and brilliant person. Those of you who did know exactly what I am speaking about. Just to hear him speak his thoughts was a wonder. This loss is so difficult for so many reasons. Losing such a great friend, aside of losing so many great ideas. What was really tough to come to terms with is that we will never get to know him better. The world has lost so much. He had such a great stories, and I could not wait for him to channel them into his love of filmmaking. As a class, we were all excited to see the wonderful things he would do in his career. I wish he was here now to say some brilliant and kind greetings with that British accent of his. The loss is so much greater than we know. The world has lost a great artist who had endless potential. Not being able to speak and work with him is the hardest part. Marlon's passing is something I will never truly understand. I hope these few words, I hope these few words have given you like a small insight of the incredible person he was and that we lost as community. Lastly, I want to congratulate you all. Congratulations. I wish you a happy and safe life with success and happiness. Do your best to keep spreading your story. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Noga. And it's a bit of a hard corner to make, but I'm going to introduce Joel Zucker, who's going to present the Lumiere Award, which is an award for excellence in film studies.
Hi, everyone. It is hard to follow. I want to wish everyone congratulations, and I'm proud of everyone. A brief history of the Lumiere Award, because I do teach film history, so I want to just interject a little bit of history in. August and Lumiere were in Paris and invented the cinematograph, which was a machine that could photograph and also project motion pictures. They sent their salesmen around to Europe and to Asia, and they sold these machines, and at the same time shot these short films. I brought them back to Paris, and they called them documentaires. So it's kind of the beginning of the documentary film movement. The second reference to history is a man named Max Sennett, who started a major studio that made the first silent short films of Chaplin and Fatty Arbuckle. And his name, again, was Max Sennett. We have another Sennett with us this evening, Shana Sennett, who was a student of mine in 3 of my classes. And I always remember when she walked in, she brought with her the energy of New York City, always asking questions I couldn't always answer, but they were great. They were amazing questions. So a program, a department is defined by, for the most part, by its faculty and by its students. Shana, your academic excellence, your passion for film history and theory and the film form has made our program that much stronger. This decision to give you the Lumiere Award was not mine alone. I consulted several of my faculty members, each of which, each person with really glowing emails. I'm not sure I should share them with you, but they have your support. I have your support. So all my best wishes, all my congratulations. We are certainly proud of you. The Lumiere Award, there's also a document that comes with it. If you give me a second here, I don't know if you can even see it here. Can you see it? Yes? So, and it's in purple, the Hunter purple. I'll send that to you. There's a honorarium, which I'll also send to you. So all the best, and it's nice seeing everyone. And also, Shana, this award here, put this next to your PhD award and your several Academy Awards. This is the first of many, I hope. All the best. Thank you. Thanks.
Please welcome Shana Sennett.
Wow, thank you so much, Professor Ziegler, for this honor. It really means so much to me, and also for making my undergrad just entirely unforgettable, and also for teaching me how to make a good salad, which I will also never forget. Your presence and your totally endless knowledge about film and life will stick with me forever, truly. So thank you. And I also want to make sure I thank Professor Herbis Charrier for teaching me so much in such a short time, and being an incredible help in cultivating my passion of screenwriting, which is my true love. And Professor McElhaney, if he's here, for helping me to understand the true artistry of filmmaking. He's taught me so much over the years, and I'm really grateful to him. And lastly, and most importantly, I want to thank my father, who is with us today and who has fueled my love of films since I was going into kindergarten by showing me Casablanca, and who has always given me his utmost support and confidence, for which I am unspeakably grateful always. And I really hope I've made him and the rest of you proud today, and that I keep making you proud every day going forward. And I think that anyone that's had the misfortune of being in a class with me knows that I really love film more than anything else. I love watching it. I love learning about it. I love writing it. I love making it. And I'm just so happy to be here with you all, and we're all here because we have that love, or someone close to us does. And it's been really lovely to share this experience with y'all. So thank you.
Congratulations.
Beautiful. And next we have Professor Tammy Gold, who is going to be announcing the recipients of the New York Women in Film and Television Scholarships.
Hi. Before I announce the awards, I want to extend great. Marlon was in my class, and I got very close to him, and we shared some special moments together. And as Michael said, Marlon was a leader in the class, and the loss of Marlon and his brilliance has affected and impacted many faculty in our department. So just wanted to share that. And before I announce who the winners are, I want to apologize if I say anyone's name incorrectly. So I apologize before I begin. Dear Anne Mora Bien Ami and Veronica Luciari or Luchaes, the Department of Film and Media is delighted to present to both of you this year's New York Women in Film and Television Award. We call New York Women in Film and Television affectionately NYWIF. This is a scholarship award, and thank you so much for your outstanding films. This award is for your future as filmmakers, or for whatever you choose to do with the award. With it comes a complimentary Next Wave membership to NYWIF. Cynthia Lopez, the executive director of NYWIF, was also a graduate of Hunter College and a graduate of our documentary media studies program. Cynthia is thrilled, truly thrilled to support your future and your hopes with this scholarship. With this, and to pursue your careers. Veronica, we, the faculty in film and media, are so happy that you found your way from a rural town in Ontario, Canada, to Hunter College. Your film, Fractured, is a fascinating story told primarily through images, stunning framing, and exemplifies your unique language as a filmmaker. Congratulations. Anemora Bien Ami, using stunning 8mm film and still photography, tells the story of your mother interwoven with what it means to be Haitian. Your opening film starts with a quote from Marcus Garvey, "The Black Mother." Your film is a powerful celebration of Black motherhood. Congratulations.
Next, we have Professor Andrew Lund, who's going to present the IMA Award for Outstanding Achievement in Integrated Media Arts. Andrew.
Thanks, Kelly. I just first wanted to say, I didn't know Marlon, but, you know, to extend my condolences and also to say, you know, this is an example of the deep levels of connectedness and community that we have within our department and our school. And how vital that is to what we do, in addition to the things we teach in the classes. And I also wanted to thank Betty Yu for your inspiring words in art, and to congratulate all the other IMA graduates who all deserve special recognition, and all the undergraduates as well. I mean, it's moments like this that highlight how lucky we are as faculty to be part of a community of dynamic and diverse students that really make what we do such an exciting opportunity. In terms of the prize for outstanding achievement in integrated media arts, the award recognizes the consistent contribution to the mission of the IMA program through academic excellence, creative innovation, and a commitment to socially engaged media making. This year, the award goes to two students, Tatiana Stalpovska and Nadia Mohammed. Tatiana and Nadia both embodied the spirit of the program in their creative work and their contributions to the IMA community. We've been uplifted by their vibrant and reverberating commitment to socially engaged media on multiple platforms and in diverse spaces. With their thesis projects, they both created new processes and overcame obstacles of the pandemic to make powerful work steeped in issues of social justice with personal and political resonance. We're grateful for how much they gave us in their time in the IMA, and I can't really imagine the program without them. First, Tatiana Stalpovska. Tatiana excelled in a wide array of expressive forms, from animation to documentary to cinematography. The list goes on. It didn't seem that there was anything that she couldn't do in exciting and new ways. A consummate collaborator who contributed in so many ways to so many projects and creatively supported so many. Tatiana was also always lifting us up with her infectious enthusiasm and her boundless curiosity. She was a model for many of us in how to be an engaged artist, a generous collaborator, and an inspiring agent for change. Tatiana is here and will say a few words.
Thank you, Andrew. 6 years ago, I came from Russia to New York for grad school. My primary interest was cinematography and documentary filmmaking. I enrolled into a program with a very vague name, Integrated Media Arts. It's just film, I was explaining to my family, but it wasn't. In IMA, we learned to be not afraid to try new things, even if they seem way outside of anything we learned before. We were pushed to learn coding in emerging media class, and a year later, I found myself teaching HTML and CSS to undergrads and actually enjoying it. Thank you, Andrew Demergen and Ricardo Miranda, for giving me this opportunity. We were offered animation classes, augmented reality, VR, 3D printing workshops on how to pitch ideas and write grant proposals. If there was a cutting edge technology out there, we were discussing how to do it low budget, how to do it DIY, how to do it ourselves. In the 5 years that I spent studying and working at Hunter, I was given a great opportunity to be a tech fellow and keep working safely from home during the pandemic with Peter Jackson and Shasha Feng. Thank you. I also wanted to say thank you, Natalie Kohn and David Pavlovsky, for being there day and night for IMA students. We all know you run this program. Thank you, Kelly Anderson and Andrew Land, for making this program so special. I made friends from all over the globe, made projects together, constantly expanding notions of what's possible. When you collaborate with the right people, the creative energy is just endless. There were tough moments. We lost footage and learned how to back up our work, always on 2 different hard drives. Instead of quitting, I learned to say, this is challenging, and kept going. Most importantly, I learned that there are so many different ways to tell a story. And while we tell our stories, we always have power to change the narrative. Thank you to all IMA professors and especially adjuncts for all your extra time that you give us. Thank you, my family, who is streaming this from Moscow, my mom, my grandparents, я вас люблю и очень скучаю, my partner Jazzy for supporting me every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Tatiana, and congratulations. And then for Nadia Mohammed, Nadia is also someone who's always embraced creative exploration, going in different directions from coding, exploring script writing, narrative filmmaking, and devising and designing spaces for community and creativity. Nadia also embraced opportunities to collaborate, to forge new connections, and to find many myriad ways to support the work of others. She's also been committed to expanding IMA resources around issues of equity and representation by connecting us with new faculty, visiting artists, critique techniques, and teaching resources. Nadia is someone that many of us look up to and have learned tremendously from. Nadia couldn't be here today because she had a work commitment, but she's written something that she asked me to read. So this is what she said. I am deeply honored to be receiving this award. It's quite humbling in many ways because I've been a part-time student in this program for so long, nearly 7 years to be exact. I'm grateful for the IMA full-time faculty like Andrew Lund and Kelly Anderson. As leaders of this program, I've admired Andrew and Kelly's grace and receptiveness to the ad hoc group of us who came to them with a somewhat overwhelming list of suggestions on how to make the program more diverse, equitable, and inclusive. In them, I see 2 people who are dedicated public servants and seekers and facilitators of creative excellence. I am grateful for the IMA adjunct faculty, like Reiko Tahara, who has worked tirelessly to ensure that our curriculum includes the amazing work of filmmakers from underrepresented communities. The inaugural class of Third Cinema that she co-taught with IMA alumni Claudia Zamora is forever imprinted in my heart. I am grateful for the amazing IMA students for their curiosity, creativity, and rigor. Lastly, and most importantly, I want to thank my family for always supporting me in big and small ways, including letting me follow them and tell slices of their stories, to finally get the chance to bond on another level with them so that I could meet my project deadlines. It is my hope that this program continues to attract, retain, and graduate students like me, non-traditional ones who may be dipping our toes into a new field with some hesitance and uncertainty. It is my hope that students like me will continue to find creative and political home in this program, a program that teaches them not just tools and techniques for media making, but for using storytelling and narrative to build the society we need, one that guarantees our human rights to health, housing, education, and more, no matter our race, gender, age, or zip codes. So thank you, Nadia. Congratulations, Tatiana and Nadia and all the other IMA graduates.
It was wonderful. Thank you, Andrew and Tatiana and Nadia, who I hope her father is somewhere in the audience. I feel like I know him at this point. I'd like to take a moment to thank the people who made all of this possible today. Huge thank you to Peter Jackson, Shasha Feng, John Sorosa, David Pavlovsky, and Connie Chen. They're always behind the scenes and they're always making things run, and we can't do what we do without them. And now President Raab will officially confer your degrees. This is the moment where you actually become a graduate. And then we're going to roll your names with the graduation music.
Now, for the moment you have all worked so hard to reach. Will all the candidates for BA and master's degree in film and media studies please stand? With the authority granted by the Charter of the State of New York to the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York and delegated to me, I confer upon you the Bachelor's and Master's of Fine Arts degrees you have earned with the rights, privileges, and responsibilities which accompany them. Congratulations to the Hunter class of 2021 film and media graduates. You did it.